I'm Saman Ruff. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm director with Corporation for Supportive Housing. Social connection and community connection is so important for older adults in supportive housing. We really see an increased understanding of the impact of loneliness and isolation. And so one of the great things around supportive housing, which brings together the housing and the services, is this ability to really build community and think about what community is for the tenants and for the community itself. And that can be at the site as a project-based site, and also in the community. What are the activities that are happening? What are the interests of people who live in the property? We see all kinds of creative tenant groups and social recreational activities, many of which can be tenant-led. Around art, around gardening, around food, around trivia. There's just, the wide variety of people's interests is what we see in building community. Related to building community is also that access to transportation. So for things that are happening out in the community, how do people connect to those events and activities? We also see a lot of thoughtful planning around different groupings in supportive housing. So it could be cultural celebrations. It can be kind of building community events that are seasonal. Having a monthly birthday recognition as an ongoing activity. But really kind of thinking about what is it that people are interested in, and either offering those activities or creating a really welcoming space for tenants themselves to be able to organize different community engagement. When we're thinking about the different needs of folks in supportive housing, income is really important. And so supporting older adults in supportive housing, one of the important conversations to have is really thinking about income from benefits. Benefits that people are entitled to, and ensuring that they're accessing the benefits that they're entitled to, health benefits, income benefits, any food benefits, as well as employment if people are interested in working. Oftentimes, folks will really lean into the conversation around benefits and maybe not so much the conversation around employment. And yet what we know from folks is that there's a large number of people who are interested in working and having that conversation about working. And so making the space and time for that, and really seeing if people see themselves as in the labor force. And if they're in the labor force, then what does that mean for their interests? What supports are there around employment? Also, folks are interested often in volunteering, other kinds of community engagement. So pulling together that connection to community and conversation around income in a really broad sense, so that there's space to hear what folks' interests are, and how staff and other community resources can support people in pursuing those interests. Peers are so important in supportive housing. That lived experience, that expertise, it is so incredibly meaningful. Anytime we're talking with folks living in supportive housing, there's always a reference to the meaningful impact of the role of somebody who's lived something similar that really feels different for folks when they know that they're connecting with someone who's had some kind of similar background, or also kind of similar experiences. And so the role of peers throughout the organizations that we're working in is so important, so that folks see themselves, right, in the various organizations that are providing supportive housing, whether it's the housing, the property management, or the services. So that mindful, intentional uplifting of the expertise of peers in the various organizations and roles is really impactful. And also thinking about what that peer support looks like, so that we're really looking at the skills that people bring to supportive housing, and leveraging that resource and expertise. It's hard to overstate how meaningful the role of peers, that role of lived expertise is, and the impact that we see on outcomes for folks as well as tenant stability is really meaningful. One thing to reflect on is that you are the connector. You are the person that really threads together, braids together all of these different considerations for somebody who is moving into or recently moved into or has lived in supportive housing. And it's such an important role. So I cheer you on in this role as connector and all of the creative and innovative ways that you support people in their pathways out of homelessness. Thank you.